सत्यं नारायण अनुनित्यं नारायण अनुनित्यं नारायण राम नारायण राम नारायण श्री राम नारायण श्री राम नारायण विष्णु नारायण विष्णु नारायण श्री कृष्ण नारायण श्री कृष्ण नारायण सच्चिदानंद रूपाय कृष्णाय क्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदांत विद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वलोकहितैषिणम् वेदाब्जभास्करं वन्दे समाधिनिलयं मुनिम् समाधिनिलयं मुनिम् purifying the mind and purifying all the inner instruments of the internal organ or antahkarana is a sure sign of experiencing the true peace and the real joy. When the impurities are present, then those impurities will attract such things that make us experience sorrow or misery. So the process of purification or the method of purification is a very important thing. Even in our day-to-day living also, we clean so many things to make them pure. Not only our physical structure, but the clothes, the surroundings, various things that we use, our rooms, the air in the room. So there are so many fresheners and purifiers. What are those things which can purify the internal organ or antahkarana, or put together in short, mind? Or in other words, what are those things that can purify us and take us more closer to God and en route make us experience the higher levels of peace and joy? The experience of peace and joy is directly connected with the levels of purity of our mind. So one of the easiest ways and the best ways of attaining purity is to turn our mind towards the purest of the pure. Pavitranam pavitram yo mangalanam cha mangalam. Daivatam devatanam cha Bhutanamyo Avyayah Pita. We have to turn ourselves towards the purest of the pure. Then certainly the purity will happen to us. So what is this easiest and the best method? These are the following ways. Paramastu Kuman Dhyato Drishtaha Kirtitaha Stutaha Sampujitaha Smurtaha Pranavaha Papmanaha Unmulayati iti paramam pavitram. So if we can do these following things, any one of these things, then by doing these things, we will become pure. We will get the purity from the purest of the pure. When we meditate upon Yato, Drishtaha, when it is seen by us, in whichever way possible, whatever form of God, if we can see, when it is being worshipped or when it is simply giving darshan, whatever state it is, if we can see, or if we can see inside, or if we can see a vision, anything, drishtaha and kirtitaha, if we can glorify. Not only that, if we can sing, actually, kirtana is connected to singing. Or stutaha, praising. Sampujitaha, worshipping. Okay, all this is not possible. I can do one thing very well. What? Remembering my people. Okay, to remember them, but right now for some time to remember God. Smurtaha. And don't tell me all these things connected with the mind. Tell me something which is at the body, which is easy. Pranavaha. Simple. Offer your salutation or prostration. By doing any one of these things or all of these things, Sarvan Unmuleti iti paramam pavitram. What papam is totally eradicated. It destroys all sins. So how simple is this procedure? So every single activity that is connected with the purest of the pure can only give us purity and not anything else. And these are simple things only. Anything is equally greater because everything gives us purity. So one who is prostrating physically is in no way lesser than one who is meditating as far as this analysis is concerned. So every activity is equally sacred because finally it makes us pure only. So let us make our day-to-day living filled with these things. In one way or the other, if we engage ourselves in these things, then we are doing such actions which are giving us purity. The more purity arises in us, the more we experience peace and joy independently of external situations. Without depending upon external situations, we can experience the peace and joy. Otherwise, we depend upon something and then we become peaceful and joyous. But here, these are such things that give us those joys and peace which we can get independently. And then when we interact with the world outside, because we independently experience this peace and joy, and that is there in ourselves, in abundance, we contribute that only when we interact with others. We contribute peace, we contribute joy. So people start feeling that when they interact with us, who are filled with peace and joy, that they feel peaceful, they feel happy. Certainly they will not feel miserable. In fact, they tend to forget their miseries. Like that, our personality can be shaped not by ourselves, but by the purity that flows into us from the purest of the pure through these actions. So every action has a say upon our conscious energy levels. Every action, not only action, action includes the the thought also, the speech also. So every activity can influence our energy levels. So it enhances the good and pure energy levels. In addition to this, Sri Adi Shankaracharya ji being a very staunch Advaita Vedanta, he also connects that with Pavitranam Pavitram. He says, Samsara Bandhana Hetukutam Punya Apunyamakam Karma Tat Karanam Cha Ajnanam Sarvam Nashayati Swa Yadhatma Jnana Anenedeva Pavitranam Pavitram. How is Pavitranam Pavitram pure? Through the real knowledge of the self, he will bestow upon us the real knowledge of the self. That real knowledge of the self is only, so that knowledge belongs to him. When we gain that real knowledge of the highest self, through that knowledge of the self, he destroys karma, all karma, the good karma, bad karma, the total karma, the present karma, whatever karma, the future karma, he destroys all karma. Whatever type of karma it is, because karma means that which ultimately keeps us tied here and gives us appointments to keep on visiting here. So it destroys the karma, the knowledge destroys the karma, not only that karma, but the cause of the karma. The cause of the karma is ignorance, avidya. It destroys avidya also. So once it destroys the karma, that which leads us into bondage is destroyed. And once it destroys avidya, everything that is connected with our janana marana is destroyed. So that way it makes us attain absolute purity. That way also if we see, he is the purest of the pure. Uyate anena iti pavitram, meaning that through which we are made pure, that by which purity is gained, that is called as pavitram. Now we will look into those references given by Sri Adi Shankara to certainly make it confirmed in us that there are various ways through which the purity is gained by us. Sri Adi Shankara cites these things from the scriptures and says, when we involve in certain good actions in connection with the Hari, who is none other than Vishnu, not only that we get liberation, but Sri Hari also gives us wealth, he also gives us health and gives us beauty and continuous worldly happiness. In addition to moksha, these also are given by Hari. Harinama Smarana or Vishnu Nama Smarana or any other things that we have seen just now. Those actions that give us purity. Beauty also, wealth also, health also, continuous worldly happiness also. So everything can be gained by this type of practice. We may think, oh, they might have written because then only people will do it. It is not like that. These actions will definitely improve our purity levels and that will reflect upon our worldly happiness levels also. If we continuously involve in these practices, we ourselves will notice the change in the levels of peace and happiness. And he says beauty also and worldly happiness also. And then it is also said in the scriptures, Sri Hari when we do the Namasmarana of Sri Hari, he destroys all the sins. Then the suggestion from the scripture is, if Sri Hari is destroying all the sins by simple meditation or contemplation or remembrance of him, why not we set aside all other objects of God and constantly be in remembrance of him? He removes the grief, gives the joy. So what the scripture says, all that you want is freedom from grief, fear, and then you want joy and greater peace. That is being given by Sri Hari. So why not you set aside all other objects of God and constantly be in Harismarana? That is a suggestion, not an instruction, of course. It also says, some people have doubts. No, I am not all the while conscious when I am doing Vishnu Sahasranama or any Nama. Sometimes I am unconscious. Or some people say, sometimes only I am conscious. Some people say, I am never conscious. It goes on happening inside me. And then I am somewhere and this is somewhere it is happening. So is there any benefit by this unconscious repetition of his name? Vishnu Purana says, even by the unconscious repetition of his name, the human being is undoubtedly liberated from the sins. Unconsciously. Like whether we are consciously taking the medicine or unconsciously taking the medicine. Medicine will do its purpose only, it will fulfill it, the purpose for which it is taken. It will do it actually. We might be talking, watching a program, and then you take it and all that. You don't know that sometimes forget that you take and all that. Sometimes people take twice. Sometimes people think that they have taken and they don't take it. Sometimes it happens because unconsciously they are not very conscious. But doesn't matter. Vishnu Purana says doesn't bother about it. Conscious, super conscious, unconscious, little conscious. No problem. Even if it is happening unconsciously, also it will destroy the sins. And there it says the sins will fly away like the wolves that are frightened by the lion. The lion frightens the wolves away. They run away, they run like flying away. Like that the sins fly away, says Vishnu Purana, meaning Parashara. He says this to Maitreya. That means it is sensible only. It is not a statement that is made just like that. So how nice it is. It is so comfortable. Because conscious or unconscious doesn't matter. Doing is important. Forget about unconscious conscious. Doing is important. So never feel that you are doing just like that and whether it will give phalata or it will give its result. It is going to give. We may not be conscious of Narayana. Narayana is conscious of us. That is very important. Name is God. Name has Bhagavan's Shakti. Name has Bhagavan's presence. So that Bhagavan which is entering into us in the form of the name, he is conscious. He knows what has to be done inside us. He might not be conscious. In Nishada Raja also, Kevat also, in the Tulsi Ramayana or Valmiki Ramayana, they say to Bhagavan, you only remember us. And then you only bless us with your darshan. Don't ask us to remember you, because our minds are totally distracted by so many things. We might not remember you. So you only remember us and make us remember you. Whole responsibility is on Sri Ramachandra. He will fulfill that. Because they said, what is the guarantee that mind, where are you close and number? Who knows? So you know, so you will only make us remember you. You only remember us. Easiest thing. They make God remember the devotee. Like that also is facility granted here by Vishnu Purana. Where can you find such a comfortable sadhana? Just like that, what does it matter? That also is fine. Some masters say, even while you are doing some activity and something you are listening, maybe one or two words you listen, that also will start purifying. That also will purify. It is like fragrance is coming from a place which is filled with flowers. Whether you are conscious of it or not, or attentive towards it or not, little bit of that fragrance will have an influence on you. Your person, your body, your clothes, your hair, yourself, inside the nostrils, in the breath, all over it will have influence. And when you walk out from that place, somebody says, hey, nice fragrance is coming out of you. We also don't know. Because we are not even conscious of that also that they are carrying fragrance. But others will know. That way Bhagavan will start purifying us. So how beautiful is this Vishnu Sahasranama? So that is why in our tradition, first it is taught chanting. To learn chanting is more important. No meaning, forget about meaning, no meaning. Later on meaning will come. That is why to our children also, first chanting is taught. You learn this first. Next meaning will follow. Next interpretations. Later on greater meanings and all that. Clear meaning. First learn this. That itself will start purifying. This is a very comfortable way. The most difficult practices also give us purity. The most simplest practices also give us purity. Because different categories of people are there. So Vishnu Sahasranama is nothing but Vedas brought down into a more practicable form. That is all it is. Easiest form. That is why Mahabharata is called as fifth Veda, Panchama Veda. So this is contained there. Made it so simple for people. So that is the best thing. And then it is said, how to meditate on Narayana. The method that is said in the scripture is, be centered in your sattvic aspect. That is important. Everybody has sattvic aspect, rajasic aspect and tamasic aspect. So tamasic aspect is not all that great when the sadhana on Narayana has to be done. Because it will use lardhas, laziness, postponement, like that. So what will we do? Or rajas also, lot of activity, too much of distraction, thinking about this, doing that, that also is not all that great. So the best thing is be centered in this sattvic aspect, the conscious awareness, or nice, pure thinking, some decent ways of living. So be centered in the sattvic aspect, and thereafterwards chant Omkara, and then meditate on Keshava. That is all. Simple procedure of meditation. Be centered in the sattvic aspect, number one. Chant Omkara, number two. Omkara is everything in it. Om means all mantras are there. Chant Omkara, then meditate on Keshava. Finished. Easiest method that is given to us. So we need not have so many meditation techniques. This is the best technique. It is also said in the scriptures, directing of one's thoughts to Hari. If we direct our thoughts towards Hari, not even thoughtless, thoughts only directed towards Hari, then the direction of thoughts towards Hari gives us as much purity or cleanses as much sin as is washed away by hundreds of baths in Ganges, thousands of baths in Pushkaras. Every Pushkara is very pure. Taking bath in Pushkara time, taking bath in Ganges, always, any time is pure. But here it is said, directing our thoughts towards Srihari or Narayana or Keshava or Vishnu will give us that much of purity and washes away all these things. So how nice it is. So simple. Whatever we are doing, howsoever we are living, there only the practice begins. There only the process of purification begins. That is the best thing that can happen to human beings. There was one person who went to a library and was interacting with the librarian. And he was inquiring about the card benefits of that card which he has taken. So, she told, the librarian told, that you can take any book you want with the help of this card. You can take anything you want, any book you want. And then he asked her, can I take encyclopedia also? Encyclopedia also good. Can I take CDs also? CDs also good. Can I take DVDs also? DVDs also good. Can I take MP3? Then she got little irritated. You can take everything. You can take anything you want. Then he said, can I take you out? Then she said immediately, librarians are only for reference. What we have to do is, we have to refer these pointers and take out the sins through these practices that are pointed or suggested here. That is all is required. In Vishnu Purana, there is one nice pointer which is very useful to us. It says, Sakrut smrutopi govindo Sakrut smrutopi govindo Runam janma sataihi krutam Paparasim Haratyashu Tularasim Ivanadaha. Even once Sakrit Smurto Api Govindo Nrunam Janma Sataihi Krutam Paparasim. Even once, if Govinda Rama is remembered, even once, meaning the total application of mind in the Govinda Rama and complete trust in that Govinda Rama, with that total application, concentration and trust, if we do this Smarana of Govinda Nama even once, they said, quickly it destroys the sins of people, Papa Rashi, Haratyashu. How it destroys? It destroys all the sins accumulated in hundreds of births. We might have accumulated so many sins in so many births, but all of them can be destroyed quickly. How can they be destroyed quickly? So much of time we took to accumulate them and pile them up. How can quickly it can be destroyed? The example here given in Vishnu Purana is, just as fire burns up cotton, bales and bales of cotton stored in godown for over a greater period of time, a little spark of fire burns away the entire godown cotton. The whole cotton. Quickly, in no time it will burn. How can it be big? That is all it is. Small spark of fire is enough. Entire godown filled with cotton will be burned. Here there is no idea given here to burn that cotton. But only example that so much of karmas piled, papas piled up in our godown of Chitta. There is a godown only, the storehouse of all impressions, samskaras, vasanas and so on and so forth, karmas. So that Govinda Nama is like a spark. That is all, that is enough. Quickly it will burn all things. So, how much of importance is given to this Smarana? Even Smarana, smallest activity Smarana, that also is enough. So even when we chant Nama, for various reasons, whatever reason it might be, the name is enough to ignite that spark of purity, and then slowly it will start cleansing it. And it is said, those who are engaged in these three things, we are going to chant that also from Vishnu Purana. For them, even the greatest positions of power and pleasure also mean nothing for them, because there will be so much of experience of peace and joy that they don't bother about the greatest positions of power and pleasure. It is said, Vasudeva Mano Yasya Vasudeva Mano Yasya Vasudeva Mano Yasya Vasudeva Mano Yasya Japa Homa Archanadishu Japa Homa Archanadishu Japa Homa Archanadishu Tasyantarayo Maitreya Devendratvadikam phalam Devendratvadikam phalam To that person or to him whose mind is devoted to Vasudeva. Vasudeva Mano Yasya. How it is devoted to him whose mind is devoted to Vasudeva in Japa, Homa, Archana, Adishu. How important these three are. Japa, constantly repeating the name of the God in the mind or aloud or to the lips. Homa, that is why we are also doing every day Vishnu Sahasranama Homa, so that everyone will get the phala completely. Japa, Homa, Archana, Vishnu. We are doing the Archana also. When we are chanting the Sahasranama, that is a form of Archana also. So, Japa, Homa, Archana, Adishu. The other things also, whatever is possible. Listening also, contemplation also, meditation also, discussion also, writing also, looking at it also, all these are adishus. All other things. So, O Maitreya, for such people whose mind is filled with, devoted to Vasudeva through these things, when they are worshipping Vasudeva, offering oblations to fire through Homa or doing Japa or various other things, to such people, even the position of the King of Gods, Devendratva Adikam Phalam, even the position, the seat, the chair of the King of Gods is an impediment. They consider it as an impediment because that is a distraction, that is more unnecessary involvement in other things, and that much of time is wasted. Instead of that, they could have done more japa, more homa, more archana, more worship, more things. So they think that position or seat is impediment. Whereas people, when they get to small positions, in whichever committee or it is or organization it is, the moment they sit on that chair and they get to the position, my God, what all things happen. Suddenly they start thinking that they are the President of India or Africa. Small position. A committee member, a committee secretary, president. That is enough to set their ego. Totally go berserk. We see these wonders happening. So, the only thing means what? Their mind is not devoted to Vasudeva. It is simple. That is all it is. So, those whose mind is devoted to Vasudeva, to Japa, Homa, etc. They are experiencing so much of joy, so much of peace, so much of fulfillment, so much of contentment, so much of easiness in their living styles. Why do they want to get into unnecessary things? So they think even Indra Padavi also impediment. If Indra Padavi only is impediment, what about other padavis? Nothing for them. So the best way to get out of the craving for these positions and titles and honors and various other things in the world is to get devoted to Vasudeva through this. Puja we do devotion. They will pay more devotion, it increases devotion. Homa also increases devotion. Japa also increases devotion. Everything increases devotion. So all activities are increasing devotion to Vasudeva, they are purifying only. In Mahabharata, there is a very nice verse which is referred by Sri Adi Ekopi Krishna, Ekopi Krishne, Sakrita Pranamo. A single prostration to Sri Krishna, well made. That is very important. Well made means with the total understanding of the divinity of Sri Krishna and fully offering our ego at the feet of Sri Krishna. That is called as well made. Well made doesn't mean that our posture is so dramatic and all that. It is only our surrender is total. That is very important. A single prostration to Sri Krishna, well made, is equal in merit to 10 Ashwamedha Yagas. Even to do one Ashwamedha Yaga is not possible. Only great kings used to do that. So even during the times of Sri Rama also, they also do that Ashwamedha Yaga. So like that, that is very difficult. Doing 10 Ashwamedha Yagas is impossible, but that is equal to the merit. What is equal to the merit? Doing one prostration to Sri Krishna, one prostration made to Sri Krishna with total surrender. One well-made prostration, a single prostration to Sri Krishna well-made, equal in merit to this. So, the important thing here is, the comparison is, Dashashvamedhi punareti janma Krishna pranami na punarbhavaya. Dasha Ashwamedhi punareti janma. The one who does 10 Ashwamedha Yagas will get birth again. Get a rebirth again. Because of the punya, not get rebirth. But Krishna pranami na punarbhavaya. One who truly prostrates to Sri Krishna, he will remain with Krishna, he will never take birth again. How possible it is? Even though it is equal in merit, but in result it is greater. Krishna pranami na punarbhavaya. He will remain in the highest state of Ananda in which Sri Krishna is. So all this was explanation to Pavitranam Pavitramyo Atmachoni. So next, Mangalana cha Mangalam. Mangala means beneficence. Here, beneficence, Mangalam, Sukham. Adi Shankara equates the Mangalam with the Sukham, Tat Sadhanam, Tat Jnapakam cha. Beneficence or Mangalam includes here happiness, its means and sources. So Mangalam is equated to happiness, the means of happiness, the sources of happiness. That is why it is the most beneficial the means and the source. He is the means also, he is the source also. And it is also said, Deshamapi Paramananda Lakshanam Paramam Mangalamiti. He is the most beneficent, characterized by the supreme bliss. Paramananda Lakshanam. So Mangalam is equal to Paramananda Lakshanam. What is his character? Paramananda Lakshanam. What is his quality? Paramananda. Bliss. So that is why he is Mangalam. He provides us the means also, the source also, and the bliss also. Who else can do that? See, in our relationships, our own friends or relatives, they can give us happiness once in a while, or for a certain period of time, or in certain things, or in some ways. Not at all times, in all ways, in all things, they can't. Because that much they don't have, and that much we can't receive also. Because we ourselves are so much involved in various things. But here, the important thing is, always, at all times, through all things, He will give us only happiness. When we get connected with Him, He will give us only happiness. So, Mangalanancha Mangalam means He who blesses us with the means also, source also, and content also. Bliss. Then Daivatam Devatanam cha. So that is what is important here is Daivatam Devatanam. God of gods. Why he is called as God of gods? Because Dyotanadivihi Samutkarshena Vartamanatva. That is the explanation given here. Meaning, because he stands foremost by shedding his light on all others, on everything that is there. He makes everything shine. He bestows his light upon everything else. He illumines the things. He gives light. He gives that light means that knowledge. Knowledge means that method of attaining progress and success, and through that progress and success, the peace and joy. So that is what is the great quality of the God of gods. Because He gives light to all, including all gods, Brahma onwards. So He is the God of gods. So that is why He is Daivatam Devatanam. Then Avyayaha Bhutanam Yo Avyayaha Vyayarahitaha Pita Jagataha. Various other caretakers or protectors or those who give us security, feeling of security, are all perishable people. They will be there giving us these things only for temporary period of time. But here, He is such a Father who protects us eternally, always, because He Himself is imperishable. And also, it is said here how He is called as the God of gods and the protector, combined both in combination. God of gods also, protector also. How He is called. Shvetashvata Upanishad says, Eko Devaha Sarvabhuteshu Gudaha Sarvavyapi Sarvabhutantaratma Karmadhyakshah Sarvabhutanivasah Sakshi Cheta Kevalo Nirgunasya Kevalo Nirgunasya Eko Devaha. He is the one God. Sarvabhuteshu Gudaha. He is the one God. Then where is He? Sarvabhuteshu Gudaha. He is hidden in all the beings. That is why we have to make effort to see Him, discover Him, uncover Him. Then Sarvavyapi. He is present everywhere. He is always present. Then Sarvabhutantaratma, the self within all beings. Karmadhyaksha, watching over all works. He only watches over all of our works, what we are doing. Whether we are doing good work or bad work or indifferent work or whatever work it is, he is Karmadhyaksha. He is the presiding president for all of our actions. He will watch. Then, Sarva Bhutadivasa, he dwells in all beings. Sakshi, he is the witness. And Cheta, he is the perceiver. Kevalo, he is the only one. Nirgunascha, he is free from attributes. So if we combine all these things, because he is free from attributes, he is the greatest of the greatest of the gods, and he is imperishable. And also because he is the witness, and one important thing that is repeated again and again is he is inside all of us. Because he is inside all of us, protection is the easiest. If it is somewhere, then those security guards have to come rushing, or they have to be attentive, or they have to be very alert, and they have to really be effective in working and all that. But here, it is not like that. He is inside all of us, and he is the witness of everything. And there is nothing that can pass. He is attentive witness. Everything is witness. So he knows more than what we know about ourselves. And he is presiding over all of our actions. So whatever we are doing, wherever we are doing, he is the one protector who will truly protect all of us at all times, in all ways. In all possible ways. He is the only protector. So what we have to do for that, we have to understand that he is that, and we have to practice any one of these things that are told here. Either remembering him or prostrating him or glorifying him or singing praises of him or thinking of him or chanting his name or meditating upon him or contemplating anything, whichever is possible to do, that will be taken care. One person said to another, as far as test matches in cricket are concerned, I have observed one thing. India plays better in second innings. He said to his country. Then that man said, if that is the case, why not make them play second innings faster? How can they play second innings faster? Whatever innings it is, the best can come out of us. Meaning, whether we are playing first innings, meaning up to middle age, or second innings from middle age onwards to old age, whatever it is, whatever innings we are playing, we can play to the best of our capability if we connect ourselves with the Bhagavan in this manner, in any one of these techniques which are said. It is said that there was one person who applied leave in this manner. He wrote, as I have to go to cremation ground at 2 p.m. and I may not return. Please grant me half day casual leave. Instead of writing it clearly, he wrote in his own style. I may not return, but still grant half day casual leave. Sometimes this mixture of words in that manner creates more fun. Whereas another person wrote the leave letter in this format. My mother-in-law died and I am responsible for it. Please grant me 10 days leave. Responsible for the actions afterwards. But he says I am maybe, who knows? Possibility is there. Another person wrote, said, I am suffering with fever. Please declare one day holiday. His mind is filled with holiday. Holiday means leave. Instead of saying leave, he said holiday. So for his sake, they have to declare holiday. Whatever it is. Whichever way we understand Bhagavan's presence, that is enough. Whether we understand, misunderstand, don't understand, half understand, that doesn't matter. If we get into this practice of Bhagavan, that will definitely purify us and it will take us into the graceful frontiers of Bhagavan. Then, continuing further, Bhishmacharya takes up the next sloka, the 11th sloka. Yata sarvani bhutani bhavantyadi yugagame yasminscha pralayam yanti punareva yugakshaye. Sri Adi Shankara says this is a very, very important sloka because it reflects those mantras in Taittiriya Upanishad. Mantras in Taittiriya Upanishad or any Upanishad that is connected with Vedas are apaurushaya, meaning the mantra drashtas or rishis only saw them in their meditations. Meaning those Vedas or Vedantic mantras are all created by, brought into existence by, manifested by Bhagavan himself. That is why they are called apaurushaya. There are no impure limitations that are connected with the human beings in them because they are given by Bhagavan himself. In anything that we do, there might be some limitations of human beings. Paurushaya. But here, Adi Shankaracharya says, this sloka is from Mahabharata, written by Vyasa, so it is Paurushaya. But it is as good as Apaurushaya. Same it is, he says. So it's from Taittiriya Upanishad. Yato va imani bhutani jayante, ena jatani jivanti, yat prayantya visamyashanti. This is from the Taittiriya Upanishad. Same meaning. Whatever is there in this is there in that. So, Adi Shankaracharya says, even by this sloka which is Paurushaya, we are transported into that connectivity which is Paurushaya. Directly we are connected to Bhagavan. So, yataha sarvani bhutani bhavantyadi yugagame. Yuga agame. In the beginning of the yuga, all the beings have come out from what? From that is God. That from which all beings manifest or emanate in the beginning of the yuga. Yasminscha pralayam yanti punareva yugakshaye. Yugakshaye, at the time of the end of the yuga, that into which all the beings indeed are dissolved again. And that is the Bhagavan Vishnu. Who is Bhagavan Vishnu? That is Bhagavan Vishnu. Who is that? That from which in the beginning of the yuga all beings emanated, and that into which all the beings get dissolved at the end of the yuga. The middle thing also is said, that in which all beings sustain while the yuga is concerned. That also is already indicated. So, that is Bhagavan Vishnu. And Taittiriya Upanishad also says same way, that from which these things are born, by which they remain alive, and into which on departing they enter. That middle one also is Yena Jatani Jivanti, that way by which they remain alive. That also is included. That into which they enter finally after departing. How glorious it is. So this Vishnu, which is being glorified here, is that Vishnu who is the one who manifests all the worlds, the entire creation, including all the gods. So that Vishnu is made available to us in a simple form of mantras. Meaning this namas. How easy the sadhana is made for us. Next sloka. Tasya loka pradhanasya Jagannathasya bhupate Vishnu nama sahasram me Shrunu papa bhayavaham Shrunu Vishnu nama sahasram. Listen to this Vishnu Sahasranama. What will happen? Papa bhayavaham. This will remove all the sins and fear. O Bhupate, O King, hear from me these 1,000 names of Vishnu. Vishnu is addressing Yudhishthira. He is already king. No, Bhupate, please hear from me these 1,000 names of Vishnu, of the Lord of the universe, the highest in the world, Jagannatha, and Tasya Loka Pradhanasya, and the highest in the world, and the Lord of the universe. These 1,000 names remove Bhaya, fear, and Papa, sins. All the Papa, all the Bhaya, not only sins, but Bhaya also. Any fear of any kind can be eradicated by regularly tuning our mind to Vishnu. Any Papa can be eradicated by tuning our mind to Vishnu. What a great cleanser, what a great cleanser. So, Vishnu here means the one deity who had been described by the aforesaid characteristics. Till now, all the characteristics of Bhagavan Vishnu were discussed. Then, it is said, highest, Tasya Loka Pradhanasya, highest. Why he is called as highest? Because he is described by the various vidyas which lead one to perceive him. Many vidyas are there, the branches of knowledge that describe him. And all of them lead us and finally give us the experience of seeing him or gaining his darshan. And Shrunu here means not merely here, but with concentrated attention and the mind that is ready to absorb and assimilate. Mind which has got concentrated attention and capacity of absorption and assimilation. That is what is called as Shrunu. And Amsakara also refers Ekasyaiva samastasya brahmano vijasattama namnam sahasram lokanam upakaram Shrunu. He says, in the Vishnu Dharma it is said, the most important thing here is the various names of Vishnu, the one and all pervading Brahman, they will serve and help all of us. All the help that we need, all the service that we require in the path of purification, in the path of attainment of Godhood, all that is given to us by the names of the one and only all-pervading Brahman. These are the names of Brahman. Vishnu Dharma says like that. Names of Brahman. Pure consciousness is brought for our convenience into these names. Manifested into the. Otherwise, in Vedanta Marga, pure consciousness is Nirguna Brahma, is beyond attributes, beyond all characteristics. The logic that is given here is Saguna Brahma is not different from Nirguna Brahma. So Saguna Brahma is Nirguna, then we glorify Saguna automatically it is glorified Nirguna. So Nirguna is brought into ordinary levels of our perception. In the essence, what is Saguna and Nirguna? So when we glorify Saguna, Nirguna also is glorified. So that way the connectivity is there. So by repeating these names, the corresponding results fall into our account. Whatever power belongs to a name, that power comes into us. That is assured here. Whatever power is there in that name, that power is transferred into our account. Very beautiful. So it is also said by Sri Adi Shankara that pure Parabrahman who is beyond speech. We can't even talk about him. He is beyond speech. He is made speech friendly. Speech friendly. Here. That is what it is. So you can chant his name. Who is beyond the speech is brought into the levels of speech. So that you can chant also. Everyone in this world cannot do highest Vedanta Vichara. But the simplest sadhana that people can do is Nama Vichara. So, the highest Brahman is made possible in Nama Vichara. So, the names and forms. That's what is required. So, what we have to do here, what Mahatma says, we have to hold on to the feet of the Vishnu, not the head of the Vishnu or the hand of the Vishnu. Feet of the Vishnu only, because he is all power. He is made available to us at his feet. That is why even Brahma also washed his feet. Why? Because that purifies. So, meaning what? We have to surrender to his feet. Going down, leaving our ego at his feet. That is where he stands. Meaning the whole balance, the whole stance is supported by the feet. We have to surrender at that. So that also will create good balance. And much more easier than feet, Sri Adi Shankara simplified with Guru Padukas. Padukas also will surrender. That is enough. So this Paduka represents that Pada only, that Pada is Parvata. So like that. So we should be able to offer our prostration or surrender at the Padukas of Guru or Narayana himself. This way we have to place our heart and mind in this way. Then continue further. The 13th sloka. Yani namani gaunani vikhyatani mahatmanaha Rishibhih parigitani Ani vakshami bhutaye. Bhishmacharya ji is trying to tell Yudhishthira that all these names are not his creations. They are already there in the Vedas, which are seen by the Veda mantra drashtas. They are not even created by them. They are only given by God. So he says, I shall for the good of all recite those names of the greatest self that are expressive of his attributes, meaning qualities, meaning characteristics, meaning properties. And that are celebrated, which are very famous and well sung by the rishis. Who are the people who sing here? Rishis. They are very famous. Meaning they are in the Vedas, many people know about it, all great rishis know about it. All those names for our comfort, Bhishmacharya put them here. He selected names. So who gave them? God himself. Where? In the minds of the Mantradrashtas. And they came in the form of the Vedas. That is all. He only gave. So those names I am going to give to you so that you can do the sadhana. So here, Mahatmana is the word, great self, Mahatmana. That word here is explained by Sri Adi Shankara. Why it is called as Atma and Mahatma. He says, Yachano niyadadatte yachati vishayaniha yachasya santato bhavaha tasmatne kirtyate. Tasmat atma iti kirtyate. For this reason, this is glorified as Atma. What is that? Yad cha apnoti, yad adatte, yad cha atti vishayaniha. So here it says, since he realizes apnoti, Adante receives and Atti enjoys Vishayanena, the objects here. Yat cha asya santato bhava. And since he is eternally existing, he is named as Atman. One point is, he is eternally existing, that is why it is called as Atman. And he realizes, receives and enjoys the objects here. Who actually does all these things? He only, the inner presence of the Atma only makes this mind, intellect, memory, ego do all these things. Meaning actually the alone does. Without it, the other instruments cannot perform. It is because of this reason it is called as Atma. And because it is nothing but Paramatma, in the form of this Atma here, he is called as Mahanatma. And it is also said in Vishnu Purana, Bhutatma Chendriyatma cha Pradhanatma Tadhatmavani Atma cha Paramatma cha Tvamekam Panchadhastitaha. The same supreme consciousness is available here in 5 forms. Vishnu Purana glorifies the Vishnu Bhagavan. You are the Bhutatma, elemental self. All the Panchabhutas you only. You are the Bhutatma. You are the Indriyatma, sensory self. All the Indriyas. You are the Indriyatma. You are the Pradhanatma, the primordial self from where all the creation started. The Prakriti Pradhana. So, then, you are the Atma, you are the self, and then Paramatma, you are the supreme self. So, you are the elemental self, the sensory self, the primordial self, the self, meaning the inner self, and the supreme self. You are all these Atmas. You are only that, meaning what? Every single activity, even at the elemental level, the physical level also, he only is Bhutatma. So at the physical level, if we have any physical issues, we have to surrender them to Bhutatma. At the sensory level, if we have any sensory issues, which are troubling us, distracting us, we surrender them to Indriyatma. If at the other things which are in the creation, which are mighty forces in the creation, which are brought forth into existence by the supreme force in the creation, the Pradhana, so we have to surrender all of them to Pradhana. Then, anything that is there inside the internal organ that is really distracting us, troubling us, bothering us, we have to surrender them to Antaratma, that is inner Atma, that is Atma. And above all, surrender everything ultimately to Paramatma. At what level is not available? At physical level also is available. At sensory level is available. At mighty forces level it is available. Inner level available. At supreme level is available. There is not every level, everywhere. Bhagavan Vishnu is available to all of us. This only tells us, even while taking care of the body also, we can treat it as the Bhutatma's body. Not a Bhuta. Bhutatma's body. Even at the sensory level, when we are giving the sense objects to the senses, and in the pursuit of the senses, we are spending time and energy also, we can treat it as an offering unto Indriyatma. Then what happens? Selfish Kartrutva and Bhoktrutva will be transferred to, in a selfless way, to Indriyatma. You only take, we only will take all that, but we say Indriyatma is enjoyed. Bhutatma is being attended when they take care of body, cleaning and is attending to body, satisfying the body and all that. Bhutatma. Then Indriyatma. Then serving anything else which is higher and glorious in the nature, Pradhanatma. Mind, intellect, memory, ego, they have to be taken care. Leave them to Atma or Antaratma. How nice it is. And whichever is beyond our purview, Parma. Even then we can't understand Parma. Everywhere we can transfer everything, attribute everything to Bhagavan, because it is available in all these ways. Jyotimsi Vishnurvhuvanani Vishnu Vanani Vishnurgirayo Disascha Nadyas Samudrascha Sayeva Sarvam Yadasti Annasti Cha Vipravarya Jyotimsi Vishnurvhuvanani Vishnu. Here in Vishnu Purana it is said Jyotimsi Vishnurvhuvanani Vishnu. The stars are Vishnu, the worlds are Vishnu. That's what it says. Stars are Vishnu, worlds are Vishnu. Vanani Vishnu, Girayo Disascha. The forests are Vishnu, mountains are Vishnu. The directions are Vishnu. Vanani Vishnu, forests are Vishnu. Girayo, the mountains are Vishnu. Disascha Vishnu. Directions are Vishnu, the regions are Vishnu. Nadyas samudrascha sayeva sarvam. The rivers and the oceans and everything is Vishnu. Yadasti annasti cha vipravarya. Whatever is existing is Vishnu. Whatever is not existing is Vishnu. Whatever is there is Vishnu. Whatever is not there is Vishnu. Whatever you can see is Vishnu. Whatever you cannot see is Vishnu. Whatever is manifested is Vishnu. Whatever is not manifested is Vishnu. No, that is not there. Not there also is Vishnu. This is there. It's also Vishnu. What else? This attitude, if it gets into our mind, whatever we see in this world, everything came out of Vishnu. In one way or other, enlivening principle is Vishnu. External Prakriti also came from Vishnu. So outside, inside, all sides is Vishnu. So that way if we can connect our mind. See a river, Vishnu. A beautiful river. What a flow, what a gush, what a sound, what a glory. Vishnu. See the ocean, automatically the mind becomes peaceful because you see the vastness. Vishnu. Mountain, beautiful mountains, lovely valleys. I feel that I am one with them. Vishnu. Direction, look at this space. And then this direction, that direction and all that. Vishnu. Whichever direction it is Vishnu. Ashtadik Palakas are the places Ashtadik Palakas there. The Palaka of Palakas only. You only place Vishnu. You see any tree? Have a nice, have a beautiful forest. Looking at the forest only will make me very peaceful. Vishnu. Stars. Have beautiful stars. Vishnu. All the different worlds and planets and everything. So there Vishnu is not everywhere. Vishnu Darshana. Vishnu Namasmaranam and Vishnu Darshana. This also is meditating on Vishnu. If we see everything and connect it to the Vishnu, hey, this is beauty, the glory is Vishnu. That's all. So whatever we see, whatever we can see, whatever we cannot see, that also is Vishnu. There are many things that you don't see, higher lokas, but also is Vishnu. Whatever is visible is Vishnu, whatever is invisible is Vishnu. So if this gets into our mind, are we at any point of time or in any place away from Vishnu? We cannot get away from Vishnu. We are with Vishnu always. In fact, we are in Vishnu. That is what it is. When He is everything, He is everywhere, He is all around us, He is as all these things, then what we have to do is we have to keep our mind with Him and take Him along with Him in all of our actions at all times. This is possible. Otherwise, constant contemplation upon Vishnu, constant smarana of Nama. Should we not do all our activities? Do! If you are doing activities in the body, think that Vishnu Bhagavan you are offering it unto. That becomes also constant activity. If you are satisfying your senses, treat it as Vishnu's activity. If you are in that place, there also Vishnu is there. If you are somewhere, Vishnu. If you are nowhere, there also Vishnu. I am nobody, Vishnu. I am somebody great, Vishnu. There Vishnu is not. So that is how we have to understand the word constant Namasmarana. Constant Namasmana doesn't mean you are driving vehicle also, walking on the road also, not like that. So any activity done with anything, anywhere, in any manner is treated as Vishnu's Rupa only. That is constant. Constant accompaniment of Vishnu. That is what it is. So one person wrote a leave letter. My wife is suffering from sickness and I am her only husband at home. I am a big grandchild. I am the only one to take care of her at home. It's written like that. So the funny way of writing it. It seems one candidate who applied for a post wrote in this manner. This has a reference to our advertisement calling for a typist and accountant. This has reference to advertisement calling for a typist and accountant, male or female. Typist and accountant, male or female. As I am both, for the past several years, I can handle both. I am applying for the post. As I am both means as I am typist also and accountant also. Instead of saying that, we say I am both, male also, female also. There are various things that we don't represent in our mind properly. But if we present this into our mind, that Vishnu is presented to our mind, wherever our mind goes, whatever the mind involves, Vishnu is present there. That has to be presented to the mind. That is all is required in the Vishnu Sahasranama. So in this way, we look at Vishnu, then Vishnu will be there with us, not only in our practice, but in every aspect of our daily Vishnu will be there. So this concludes Purva Pitika. Otherwise, there are people thinking Vishnu Sahasranama did not begin on. Purva Pitika is going on, so Purva Pitika is over. In the original Mahabharata, not a duplicate is there or not like that, in the Mahabharata original, immediately after this Purva Pitika, the Nama begins. But otherwise, because of the practices that are done in South India, so many things have entered. So, Anganyasa, Karanyasa, Dhyana, all these things are there. Installing the God in our limbs and in our hand, palm. Karanyasa, Anganyasa. That is the way of purifying ourselves. That is there, and Dhyana is there. So, how many days you will tell that? Not like that. We will see that in a very brief manner, because that also is very nice, in a brief manner, and immediately after that, we will enter into Namas, so which we will take up tomorrow. Ramana
on